I'm making a 3-ingredient chocolate energy bite and then a bonus energy ball that's going to be made from chickpeas. So you really don't want to miss this. I'm Judy Matusky. I'm a registered dietitian and I'm a culinary nutritionist with Athens Nutrition here in Ardmore. So thanks for watching. Today we are going to do some healthy snacks. As a registered dietitian, I get so many questions about what can I snack on between meals? And the answer is that you probably want to be snacking on something that you're actually making rather than it's something right out of a bag. So today we're going to make 2 really fast and easy and very portable snacks. The first one is only 3 ingredients and it contains cocoa powder, dates, and walnuts. So we're gonna put this all in the food processor, blitz it up, we're gonna roll them out into little balls, and they are good to go. All right, so the first ingredient we're gonna add to the food processor are gonna be our walnuts. If you don't like walnuts or you don't have walnuts, substitute any nut. You could use peanuts, you could use pistachios, you could use almonds. They all would work, but I love walnuts because they're just a really special nut in that they contain omega-3 fatty acids, the plant version of omega-3 fatty acids, and that's somewhat unique to nuts because most nuts aren't really high or a significant source of omega-3 fatty acids, and walnuts are. So I do like to have them in this mix for that reason. Then we're going to put in a cup of medjool dates. So let me just show you those real quick if you can see this, if the lighting's okay. So these are medjool dates. I love them because they're so yummy and sweet and chewy. They're very, they're kind of moist, sticky. They really work well in a lot of desserts as an added sweetener without added sugar because it's just a natural sweetness from the dates. So we're going to throw in, and obviously they're pitted, so we're going to throw in a cup of those. And then the last thing that we're going to add is we're going to just put a tablespoon of cocoa powder. And it can be any cocoa powder that you have, dark cocoa powder. If you really want these super chocolatey, you could add more. But I really think about a tablespoon is pretty much all you need. All right, so that's going to go in. And then it's really just blitzing these together. It'll come together real quick, so just hold tight until I get this. Sorry again, I know, there's something about the sound. But there's really not much to do. You really want this to blitz for a little bit. It's almost there. Okay, you could do this in a blender if you would like. I just think it works a little bit better. It's a little bit easier in the food processor. All right, so this is what it looks like. So they all come together, and it looks like it's not really gonna come together and roll into a ball, but they will. So what I usually do is I just take a parchment-lined baking sheet, and then I just use the tablespoon that I used to measure out the cocoa powder, and then you're just gonna scoop out a tablespoon. That's about a serving size. If you want to make them a little bit better, you can. And then you're just going to squeeze them together and they'll all come together because those dates are really sticky and that's going to help keep everything together. So here's just a little tiny, this would be a little tiny, 1 tablespoon ball. But if you want to make them a little bit bigger, and usually, I don't know, I go back and forth. Sometimes I make them small and then you grab a couple of them. Or if you want to, just make them a little bit larger. So I'll just do one more. And this one I'll make a little bit bigger. So this is probably more like 2 tablespoons. So it just depends, how you want to do it. If you're making these for kids, you might want to make them a little bit smaller. So this is probably a little bit of a better size, probably like about a golf ball size. And so one or two of these would be just a great little snack. So what you do is you're really just going to make a bunch of these little balls, line them up on parchment, and then they're good to go. You can put them in the refrigerator just to help them get a little bit more, solid. But I just store them pretty much at room temperature in a container, something with a container with a lid. But they freeze really well. So you could double this recipe and make a whole bunch of them. Throw them in, little freezer bags or little containers that you can just grab and go. So they're perfect for that. They're very portable. All right. So what I'm going to do, because I want to do the second one with you with the chickpeas. So let me I'm not even going to worry about washing this out because all of these ingredients are really going to work together anyway. All right, so let me just take this out. because you kind of get the idea. All right, so, excuse me 1 second. Here. All right, let me just rinse my hands off real quick. And then we're gonna do this other one. Now this second one has a few more ingredients in it, but again, it's super easy. So what I already did was I took just old-fashioned oats and I just blitzed them in the food processor for, I don't know, a minute maybe, because I wanted to just break them up a little bit, and you just kind of want to get them into like a pretty coarse kind of flour in a way, oat flour. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that in. Actually, you know what? I think I just messed that up. I don't really want those in first. So let me just take those back out. All right. So we're going to add, let me just get this back together. All right. We're going to add first thing that's going to go in here is we're going to add our chickpeas. All right. So we would blitz up the oatmeal, get it into a flour, and then I drained and rinsed a can of chickpeas. So we're going to throw those in. And the chickpea flavor, you cannot taste it. It's just there. It's really there to kind of give this the density and the texture that you need. So the chickpeas are going to go in, and then I'm using a half of a cup of natural peanut butter. And you want the natural. I know it's the one that separates, that you really have to stir. You stir it together, because that is from a fat perspective. You want the healthiest fat profile for your peanut butter, and if it doesn't separate, that means it's been, you know, homogenized, or it's been partially hydrogenized, and it's created more of a saturated fat. So you really don't want that. And then we're going to do a third of a cup of honey, just to add, because this needs a little bit of added sweetness. I haven't tried it with dates, but you might be able to actually substitute some, you know, third of a cup of dates instead of the honey if you really didn't want to have any added sugar to this. And then that's all that goes in, and then we're just going to blitz this around a little bit. The reason I didn't worry about wiping this out is because we are going to add some chocolate. My dog Ceci just walked by. We are going to add some chocolate to this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. All right. We're going to blitz this around. We just kind of want it to come together. We're just trying to break up the chickpeas a little bit. This one isn't as loud. And we just kind of want to get it somewhat smooth. You know, you want those chickpeas to break up. What's really nice about these energy bites is that they are so great because they've got fiber from the chickpeas or fiber from the dates. They've got healthy fat from the nuts, the nut butter, from the peanut butter, or from the walnuts and the chocolate ones. And they're a pretty decent source of protein, because you'll pick that up from the nuts, and certainly in the chickpea one, you're going to get it from the chickpeas. All right, so that's pretty good. So you just kind of want to get the chickpea mixture blended. I'll show you a little bit, just enough so it's a little bit smoother, so we don't really want any noticeable chunks in there. All right, and then the next couple ingredients, it's just a few. We're going to add a little dash of cinnamon. You could leave this out if you want. It's maybe a quarter of a teaspoon or so of cinnamon. We're going to add about a tablespoon of vanilla. I think that's kind of nice. I mean, a teaspoon of vanilla, because that does help to enhance just a little sweetness. And just a pinch of salt. All right, and then we're going to add back this oatmeal, the oat flour that I sort of made earlier in the food processor. And that's going to go in. And then it's just back again, lid goes back on. We're just going to get this blitzed up a little bit. Now this one you do have to refrigerate this one, because the chickpeas are a little soft. All right, and then the last thing we're going to add is I have some mini chocolate chips. You could just add some, dark chocolate. Maybe if you have a dark chocolate bar and you just chop it up a little bit, you can throw that in. Really, whatever you have. You could leave out the chocolate chips if you want to. I think it would be fine too. But I mean, it is kind of fun to have them in there. All right. So I'm just going to get this so it just kind of comes together. All right, and that's pretty much it. So let me just show you this. So this batter is, like I said, it's a little bit softer, but I would put this in the refrigerator for maybe like an hour or so, or longer, but at least about an hour. And then again, same thing goes. You'll be able to take it out It's going to be a little bit hard to roll these into balls right now because it's a little too soft. But you would roll them and do the same thing like you did with the chocolate date bites. I'll show you some. I already made these chickpea balls earlier. So there they are. I just coated them with a little bit of the oatmeal, the oatmeal flour. These are a little bit darker just because I broke up the chocolate pieces a little bit more in this one. So, but that's fine. You can have the chocolate chunks. You can break them up a little bit. So here we have it. So we have the chocolate walnut date bite, and then we have the chickpea peanut butter oat and chocolate chip bites. These are fantastic. I'm telling you, they're absolutely delicious. I think kids would love them. Again, freeze them, make a bunch of them, keep them, take them to work, keep them in your office, keep them in your freezer at home. They're great even to have in your car, but they're nice to fill that gap when you need something just to hold you between lunch and dinner or breakfast and lunch. But again, I think most of us could probably fare really well by eating a great breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and maybe one floating snack. We probably don't need really more than that, but this could fill the bill. So please give it a try. If any of you have questions around nutrition, or you need help with your a meal plan or your diet for any reason, we have dietitians that are available to work with you. The best thing about that is that most of you have insurance that covers nutrition counseling. You may not know that, but chances are your benefit does cover it. So if you're in need of any nutritional support and need some advice, need some help, reach out. athensnutrition.com is our website. You can schedule an appointment right online with our dietitians. You could also schedule like a free 15-minute discovery call. If you have questions, you can talk with us and we'll make sure it's the right fit. We'll see what we can do and get you set up. So please reach out. And if you like these videos, please share them. We're happy to spread the word about eating healthy and certainly doing it in a very fast and easy way. So most of these recipes, as you know, are 5-ish ingredients. So we try to keep it as simple as possible. We want to make sure that they taste delicious. All right, that's it for today. Enjoy your snacks. I hope you like them. Please comment if you do. We'd love to hear from you. Great. Thanks. Have a great day.